He's been fact-checked over 30,000 times, impeached twice, convicted by a jury, and his approval rating went up. Political analysts have been baffled for a decade, but psychologists aren't baffled at all, because what's happening inside the minds of his most devoted supporters is actually happening inside yours too, right now. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you the one design flaw that makes all of it possible. A flaw so deep, so fundamental, that removing it would actually make you less human. Let's get into it. Let's start with the most powerful mechanism at play, and the one that Trump uses more than any other. It's called Illusory Truth Effect. In 1977, psychologists Hasher, Goldstein, and Topino ran a simple experiment. They showed people a list of statements, some true, some false, and asked them to rate how believable each one seemed. Weeks later, they repeated the experiment with the same statements. The result? Statements people had seen before were rated as significantly more true, even when those statements were false, even when participants already knew they were false. The brain uses one shortcut. If something feels familiar, it must be true. Repetition creates familiarity. Familiarity creates belief. Fake news, rigged election, American carnage, these aren't just slogans, they're repetition engines. And your brain is the machine they run on. But repetition alone doesn't explain the full picture, because some people are shown the evidence directly, handed the facts, and still don't move an inch. That's where identity protective cognition comes in. Yale researcher Dan Kahn found something remarkable. The smarter you are, the better you are at rejecting information that threatens your identity. Intelligence doesn't protect you from motivated reasoning. It supercharges it. Here's why. For millions of Trump supporters, supporting Trump isn't just a political preference. It's a core part of who they are. It signals their tribe, their values, their worldview. So when a fact challenges Trump, the brain doesn't process it as new information. It processes it as a threat to the self, and it fights back. Accepting the evidence isn't just changing your mind, it's losing yourself. And most people would rather be wrong than lost. Now we go somewhere deeper. Terror management theory starts with one brutal premise. Humans are the only animals that know they're going to die, and that knowledge creates a low-level existential terror that shapes almost everything we do. Backed by over 200 studies, the research found that when death feels present and real, people cling harder to their in-group, grow more hostile to outsiders, and become significantly more drawn to strong protective leaders. Now think about Trump's messaging. Illegal immigrants are killing your family. Your country is being destroyed. Your way of life is ending. Whether by design or by instinct, fear-based messaging activates the exact psychological conditions where a protector figure becomes neurologically, not just politically, appealing. Now here's where the system really locks in. A study in the Journal of Social and Political Psychology confronted Trump supporters directly with serious accusations, misconduct, abuse of power, Jan 6th, and asked them in their own words, why do you still support him? The answers fell into three categories. Deny the accusation entirely, shift focus to his policies, or argue that all politicians do the same. What these responses share is that none of them engage with the evidence. They're all exit ramps from discomfort. The brain doesn't weigh the facts, it resolves the tension as fast as possible, and it almost always protects the belief that's tied to identity. The deeper the investment, the faster the exit ramp. All of these mechanisms, repetition, identity protection, fear, dissonance, they share one root, the tribal brain. For nearly all of human history, being expelled from your group meant death. So the brain evolved to place belonging above almost everything else, including accuracy. Questioning the tribe's leader threatens belonging. And that instinct has no idea we now live in a world of cable news and social media. The hardware simply hasn't updated. Trump didn't create this vulnerability. He's running software the human brain has been running for 200,000 years. This is why fact-checking alone doesn't change minds. When you confront someone with evidence against a deeply held belief, something called the backfire effect can occur. The correction actually strengthens the original belief. The brain interprets the challenge as an attack, activates identity protection, and doubles down. Giving someone facts they're not ready for doesn't inform them, it fortifies them. This has implications that go far beyond Trump. It means the entire model of just show people the truth and they'll change is built on a false understanding of how the human brain actually works. And now, the design flaw I promised you at the start. The one thing that makes all of this possible. Everything we just described, the illusory truth effect, identity protection, terror management, tribal loyalty, these aren't bugs, they're features. They evolved to keep you alive. Familiarity detection kept your ancestors from eating the same poisonous berry twice. Identity protection kept communities unified under pressure. Fear of death made people fight to survive. Tribal loyalty kept groups together when the alternative was being alone in the dark. The same brain that makes people believe everything Trump says is the same brain that makes you trust your doctor, love your family, and feel safe among people who share your values. You cannot remove the vulnerability without removing what makes you human. That's the real answer to the question we started with. It's not that his supporters are broken, it's that they're human, and so are you. If understanding how power and persuasion actually operates is useful to you, subscribe. Every video on this channel is built on peer-reviewed research designed to give you a cleaner map of the world. Next video, we're going inside the propaganda playbook that's been used by every authoritarian movement in the last 100 years and what it has in common with your social media feed. I'll see you there.